All right, so this might be your last meeting with Indiana. How important as a senior is this one for you and your classmates?
Yeah, super important. Every time we play them, obviously it's a big deal. So yeah, it'd be great to finish with a win against them, especially here. Since we lost them here last year. And it's definitely important to us. It's hard to put into words, but like we talked before, best rivalry in basketball. Weekend game. So it'll be big time. We're excited for the challenge, and we want to get this last one against them for sure.
It seems like people on this team have taken what's happened the last 2 years against them personally. Would you agree with that?
Definitely. And that's what makes rivalries great. A lot of times you don't like who you're playing against, but at the same time you're pushing each other to be better, if that makes sense. I always equate it to like the Steelers and the Ravens. Like in the early to mid 2000s. It was just knockout after knockout. You're always kind of you wanted to compete against them because they're the best. So,
blood feud.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So. But no, we definitely have some guys that were fired up, and it means a lot to guys. Obviously I didn't grow up in Indiana, but we have a lot of guys that did, and so that makes it even more meaningful to some of them. So.
Other than being a good team in general, what's clicking for you guys right now with the run you're on?
I think we've won games in different ways. I think. Which I know the last couple of years we've maybe not struggled to do, but I think we've proven it even more. Because I would say last game, like we didn't shoot it great. We got some stops down the stretch that were pretty big time against a pretty good offensive team. It just depends. And you look at the game before, we score, was that Northwestern? Whatever over the last couple of years, we score 100.
Yeah.
So it just depends. Obviously, you always want to limit turnovers and out rebound them and make shots. But not all that's always going to happen. Just finding a way to win is always good, especially in a tough environment like it was in Wisconsin. So I think just willing. Guys are willing to win in whatever way necessary, whether it's about them or not. That's an important thing for us to keep. Trending upward as we move towards end of February and March.
Was it important to have to strain a little bit the last 3 games, to have to weather Rutgers making a run, to have to obviously outlast Northwestern, and then having to just hold off Wisconsin?
Yeah, I think those are always good learning experiences. Always better when you win, I guess. But no, definitely it was good. And that's a great point. Like those were 3 completely different games because Rutgers was a really grinded out, it's going to be low scoring kind of game. And obviously, you have the high scoring one, and then you kind of have something in the middle with Wisconsin. But I think to see that variety was really good, and then for different guys to step up in different ways was even better. So.
It feels like for a team that's great offensively, really efficient offensively, you haven't fallen in that trap of, hey, we're just going to outscore everybody. You've shown some substance in terms of making some strides defensively, obviously rebounding, things like that. Is this the most complete team you've been a part of?
I think it's too early to say. Obviously, you want to go and accomplish the things you want to accomplish down the road. But I will say, I think this team is a little bit different than the past couple of years. I look at like my sophomore year, obviously super talented group. I don't think we ever completely put it together defensively. I think a lot of people would agree with that. And then last year, obviously, kind of a new team, different identity, a little bit younger. But I think overall, when you combine the experience of last year with this team on top of, like Lance has been unbelievable for us on both sides of the ball. Everybody had a year of experience to get better. Obviously, you add in some other guys. It is a pretty great collection of players that's able to play well as a team. So it's exciting, but we obviously still have a lot of work to do as well.
Does it surprise you the impact Lance has been able to make? You guys had a pretty good group coming back. You really kind of only needed a piece, and he's been, a guy who's made a lot of plays.
Yeah. The first day I saw him, I thought he was pretty electric with his speed and just his activity on both sides of the ball. But what he's done the past few weeks has been pretty damn special. I even texted him last week or whatever, just like, man, like, I'm just so happy for you that it's especially in today's world, it's hard to be a transfer and come in and have that type of impact, especially on a team that brought a lot back. So I think it's a testament to the guys on the team that were willing to, accept that, like this guy can really help us, and he has, and I think he's taken us to another level, so it's been awesome.
It's got to be hard being a guy used to having the ball in his hands all the time. He went through this coming out of high school, being the go-to scorer, and then having to fit in next to great players, but also the sorts of players that you've never played with before.
Right.
He's done it pretty well, it seems like.
Are you saying me? No,
Lance. Just him going from being a kind of an alpha scorer at SIU to...
For sure, he's like I said, it's a hard, and I've never been through it, but it just seems like it's a really hard feeling out process for guys, because when you show up to a new place that's had success, like, you probably don't want to step on anybody's toes necessarily, but at the same time, you're a competitor and you want to compete. So for him to kind of find his way, and I think that's what's even better about it. Like, I think he is still getting comfortable in some ways. You know what I mean? Like, but I just think the last week just has been his growth and comfort level in playing with these guys and playing with us. He's been, with the transition from being the alpha to finding a spot here, because obviously, we run a lot of things through Zach, and obviously Braden and Fletch as well. But to find a big role within them, I think it's been impressive that he's been able to find it without taking away from other guys. Right. Because a lot of times when somebody comes in and does that, it might take away from somebody else, but I don't think it really has it all, which has been impressive.
I think you're making a bigger impact than the stats kind of reflect. How do you kind of view your lane here?
I mean, like, it's the same for me. You've probably heard me say it a million times. It's whatever the team needs. So I'm just always, I just want to win at the end of the day. Whatever that takes, however little or a lot that it is. Just doing whatever I can. Now that I've been around, I have a little bit more knowledge than when I first got here. So just being able to pass that on to guys, whatever ways they can help. Like I said, it's just whatever I can do to help us win, and as long as we're winning, I'm doing my job. So.